Demon in default! Demon in default! Demon in default! That Randall S, the Unhinged Attorney Newman, Esquire, filed paperwork on Tuesday to hold YouTuber Irish Demon in default for failing to respond to pending litigation. Has the Irish YouTuber run from his troubles again? Regan Benson returns with a lengthy statement on her latest arrest. Did she score her mugshot a 10 out of 10? Long Island Audit surprises no one by taking the crowdsourcing title for another month. Will anyone rise enough to stop this juggernaut? Liberty Troll dismisses his lawsuit against Dr. Dave's gal pal, GAIL BUMA. Will he refile against Buma at a later date, or is the good doctor his true target? Plus, Bum Fights returns. No. Glenn CERIO returned to yell at a homeless man who had soiled himself. Claims victory. I'm your wonderfully clean newsreader, Pants. Will you share a crowded compartment with my grandson's mop-topped musician friends and myself as we cross England in a showcase of their talents? Will you help me play baccarat with money that might not be my own? And what about Ringo? Will you join him, me, and you for a glorious return to the twisted tango that is auditing insanity? The Seattle area was back into focus for the First Amendment auditing world on Monday after Seattle's own Glenn CERIO posted a new video where he was confronted by a homeless man who had wet his pants. Despite CERIO's video description, his 5-minute video began after the African-American homeless man had already soiled himself and was screaming at the former king of auditors for unknown reasons. CERIO, apparently sensing big ratings from a confrontation, provoked the man by encouraging him to fight, when the man began to mumble about killing CERIO in a fight between the men. As the man approached, CERIO reminded the man that he was pretty big and a threat. Though CERIO changed tactics when faced with an actual direct threat, instead of going into his usual speech about sweeping the leg and breaking the man's kneecaps with a single blow, CERIO used a new threat. He showed the man the size of his hands and said that once he grappled with the man, it'd be all over. CERIO claimed that he would choke the life out of the man if given the opportunity during the fight, which caused the man to back away. CERIO tried to engage with a bystander who said the man was crazy and should be left alone. Instead of heeding the sage advice, CERIO went back to screaming at the man, asking what he had done to provoke a reaction. The man, who had been sitting on a bench facing the street, again got up and engaged with CERIO, shouting gibberish at everyone's favorite Seattle area YouTuber, before sitting back down. CERIO would tell his viewers that the man was so afraid of CERIO that he pissed himself. However, as noted, the man had already soiled himself before the interaction. According to our eagle-eyed viewers, the confrontation happened in the Shoreline area in northern Seattle, near Highway 99. Viewers also noted that when faced with an angry man who was ready to fight without a police presence, CERIO toned down his rhetoric and did not use racially insensitive language. It's unclear if police became involved, as the video cut off before CERIO took further action. It's also unclear what agitated the man, or if CERIO had done something to engage with the man before he started filming. This is the first video in a little over a month by the Seattle area native. Tuesday marked not only the birth of ReallyCoolNews writer, servant, sometimes on-air personality Jim Finch, it also marked the monthly reading of large amounts of meaningless crowdsourcing numbers, mainly dominated by Sean Paul Long Island Audit Reyes, in our continuing effort to torture newsreader pants. September was no exception to the rule, as Reyes again dominated the month, earning $70 for his Help Me Fight These Unlawful Charges and Injustice Fund, and $60 for his Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption Fund, to end the month in style. Reyes's Help Me Fight These Unlawful Charges and Injustice Fund absolutely destroyed the competition for the month, bringing in $1,904 off of his continued fight against charges in the Brian Fahey trespassing case. Our own Ongoing Expenses Fund came in second place for the month, taking in $970 in new donations to help with expenses in replacing a broken Starlink satellite internet dish. Reyes returned to the countdown with a third-place finish as his Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign brought in $281 for the month. Jose Chili de Castro became a fourth-place crowdsourcing champion by taking in $185 for September for his Stand with Heather Chandler for Justice campaign. Zachary Liberty Troll Cooker earned a fifth-place finish with a $155 take for the month from his supporters. Finally, the new defunct Lane Myers' Legal Defense Fund on Give, Send, Go drew $5 in new donations before it was shut down. The yearly top 10 remained mostly in order based on September's results, with Sean Paul Reyes's Help Me Fight These Unlawful Charges and Injustice campaign placing first with a $53,250 total for the year out of a goal of $55,000. Clash with Bow's Help Bow Secure Legal Representation, which was shut down at the start of the summer, remains in second place with $6,790 taken in for the year out of a $6,500 goal. Our own Ongoing Expenses Fund placed third with a $12,650 total out of a $20,000 goal, and $6,505 taken in for the year. Remaining extremely popular, despite ending his campaign, Lane Myers' Give, Send, Go for legal expenses is in fourth place, with $6,558 earned for the year, out of a $9,107 overall total, and a $30,000 goal. Reyes returns as his Support the Fight Against Tyranny Fund fell to fifth place, with a $6,108 yearly take out of a $58,391 current total, and a $55,000 goal. Also exceeding expectations, Craig Hendry's To Support Craig's Work Fund places sixth, with $1,949 taken in for the year, a $7,230 total, and a $4,000 goal. Jose Chili de Castro became a 7th place champion with his Time to Sue the Corrupt Unprincipled Judge and Zimmerman Fund, bringing in $1,680 for the year out of a $5,000 goal. Sean Paul Reyes returns to the countdown again in slot 8 as his Support Freedom Stand Against Tyranny Together Fund took in $1,000 for the year, bringing its total to $5,579 overall, with a $10,000 goal. 9th place went to Zachary Liberty Troll Cooker, bringing in $375 in new donations for the year, out of $4,300 in total donations, and a $30,000 goal. Finally, a now discontinued fund devoted to sending a prominent female YouTuber to attend Michael Fraudit Wrangler Kaiser's sentencing hearing takes the 10th slot, with $350 raised for the year out of a $1,000 goal. Just a reminder that both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe that can be found in the donations section of our website. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our entire videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. Followers of the lawsuits of that Randall S. the Unhinged Attorney, Newman, Esquire, received a surprise on Tuesday morning as the attorney filed to voluntarily dismiss the case of Liberty Troll, LLC versus Buma without prejudice. In a statement made to ReallyCoolNews Tuesday morning, Attorney Newman explained the decision to dismiss the case. In the course of preparing our case, we learned that Miss Buma's husband sadly passed away in May of this year. Out of respect for that loss and in recognition of the difficult personal circumstances she is facing, we made the decision to dismiss the lawsuit at this time. Litigation is stressful for anyone, but it is especially burdensome when someone is grieving and trying to navigate life after the death of a spouse. Had we been aware of these circumstances sooner, we would not have initiated the case in the first place. While we continue to believe strongly in the principles at stake, there are times when the humane course of action is to step back. This was one of those times. Our hope is that Ms. Buma is able to focus on her family and her own well-being without the added weight of federal litigation. Liberty Troll LLC is run by Zachary Cooker, a Florida-based First Amendment auditor. He was suing a woman named GAIL Buma for misrepresentation and declaration of copyright infringement. Buma was listed as the sole defendant in the lawsuit, as she filled out the counter DMCA notices for Dr. Dave's channel when Cooker struck Dr. Dave's channel with DMCA takedown notices. By filling out the counter DMCA notices, Buma claimed full responsibility for the content on Dr. Dave's channel and agreed to accept service should a lawsuit be filed based on the conflict. Attempts to serve Buma have been unsuccessful, And Dr. Dave has refused to clarify why Buma claimed responsibility for his channel when filling out the notices on his behalf. A recent motion to vacate case management deadlines and extend time for service was denied by Judge Trina L. Thompson on Monday due to a lack of good cause. Judge Thompson wrote, quote, "Order denying ECF 8. The court denies plaintiff's status report and request to vacate case management deadlines for lack of good cause and without prejudice. Plaintiff is ordered to review the Northern District of California's local rules. All future requests shall be in compliance with the Northern District of California's local rules." Signed by Judge Trina L. Thompson on September 29th. By dismissing the case at this time without prejudice, Attorney Newman reserved the right to refile at a later date. Because she was never properly served, Buma had no role in the litigation process at this time. The civil case was terminated at a little before 9 a.m. Pacific Time. YouTuber REGAN Benson released an extensive statement on her YouTube community page on Monday, highlighting her recent mugshot from her arrest in Denver earlier this month. Benson posted, "There it is, another jail booking photo. Denver jail. Not bad. Not great, though. Not sure I like the pink on me, though I thought I would. My best-looking photo still remains in orange from Morgan County, Colorado, where the teeny-tiny little sheriff man, Jim Crone, became incensed out of his mind over my speech and my presence. Believe it or not, cops can assault us, stalk us, lie about us, create criminal scenarios about us that do not exist, and are lathered in lies. They can release our personal information for targeting, death threats, and assaults. They can redrum us with full immunity. True story. Yep, such is the world of activism and exercising my right to push the outer limits of preserving free speech in this country, a country that is teetering on total loss of freedom. Some people are and have paid with their lives to attempt to keep us free. I consider myself lucky every single day I come home alive after dealing with tyrannical government, heinous bad actors for authoritarian rule, and of course dirty, greasy, smelly hog swine that have lost sight of their own little balls, who are mostly those who have never had any to begin with, as they failed to descend, thus producing an army for the government, a.k.a. lost little beta males with a penchant for order following. The female cops, hookers for welfare checks, nothing more. At any rate, here's my take on jails. They're supposed to be scary places. Why? Because they're supposed to be full of scary people that have done horrible, scary things to other people. That's certainly not what is in Denver's downtown county jail. It's loaded with a bunch of people the cops are trying to build cases on. What is the goal of a county jail in the cattle herding process of humans that are presumed guilty until proven innocent? Don't even go there with me with we're innocent until proven guilty in America. Answer: the goal is to not get sued. Inmates getting assaulted and or dying is all they're trying to avoid, and at that, the track record is horrible for people that are needlessly dying in jails. Denver has had their fair share indeed. The goal is not to ensure humane treatment. Why? Because everyone is guilty as charged, and county jails really are not under the same laws as the prison system. That is why people say they would much rather just be sent into DOC immediately. The goal is also to use the Denver jail and every other county jail in the Denver metro area as a dumping ground, and I say that with intense disdain for the words dumping ground as it applies to the mentally ill and homeless. This is where they succeed at torturing me. I've seen some things. Some are very, very sad things. I always hear things, very, very sad things, of cries for help, cries to be let out. The cries are not without confusing pleas or statements or concerning accusations. It takes my soul and snaps it in half, because there is not one thing I can do about it. I can't understand the person because I can't talk to them or be near them. I can't help. I just have to sit or lie there and watch or listen for hours, which feels like days. I file complaints. They're ignored. Always ignored. Those employed to do the job never have to answer ever to what goes on in that jail and others. I think I'm finally sick of tolerating this. I hope I'm going to be able to shift focus to do something about it. I'm done. These sheriffs need to be held accountable. The public needs to see what they allow to go on and participate in. Why do they do it? Because that's where they can cut the budget to pad their own pockets and no one knows, cares, or can see what's going on. They get to own the messaging to staffing, hiring, shortages. BS! They're lying! Whatever your quest may be, right to wrongs, please do not forget to smile and laugh. It's nourishment for the soul. This booking photo, me still smiling about how insanely dumb the Denver PD and all its little minion boys are. Boys that are rallying around the one female detective that thinks she's going to create a prison case on me because she holds a bachelor's degree in business administration. You stupid beep! I guarantee you I was inherently smarter and more strategic in a third grade than you and your bachelor's degree of 2014 are. Nobody thinks of you and your toys you're trying to impress when they hear the phrase, behind every good man is a good woman. Well, those of the brain instead know exactly who you are and what you're about. You signed up to be at war against the people with some boys on your side. You are loser, hooker, loser. Your affiant obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration in June 2014 from the University of Colorado at Denver. Your affiant is currently a post-certified peace officer in the state of Colorado and has been since 2014. Your affiant graduated the Denver Police Academy in 2014 and has held numerous positions within the Denver Police Department to include District 2 Patrol and Impact Teams and the Counter Threats Section, a.k.a. loser, welfare recipient. Underneath my pink is a black t-shirt that reads, F you, you effing F. Cap it all and put that in your next warrant, Denver. Let the games begin again. Sincerely, Regan Benson. Benson turned herself in on a warrant for harassment earlier in the month, before charges were officially filed. She has since received civil protective orders against her from Denver District 3 police officers Joel Bell and Brian O'Neill, who she has targeted with pornographic chalk and graffiti. As expected, YouTuber John Irish Demon O'Day did not reply to the lawsuit served on him on behalf of Jose Chili DeCastro earlier this month, in a lawsuit filed by that Randall S, the Unhinged Attorney Newman, Esquire. O'Day is accused of a variety of offenses surrounding a November 2024 hack of DeCastro's main YouTube channel that resulted in the suspension of the channel. He is also facing charges of misrepresentation and declaration of copyright infringement for using DeCastro's copyrighted works. DeCastro is claiming significant damage to his channel and branding, as O'Day allegedly played hardcore pornography on DeCastro's channel in several coordinated attack sessions. According to DeCastro's initial complaint, overall damages are expected to exceed $75,000 for loss of income, goodwill, and business opportunities. DeCastro had previously claimed that the loss of the YouTube revenue caused him to lay off up to 6 employees, and that he has yet to recover from the financial losses from being offline during the suspension. While he was eventually paid the revenue he earned for November, he lost revenue for not being able to live stream during the suspension, leading up to the busy Thanksgiving holiday. Despite claims from fans of O'Day agreed to be sued in the Northern District of California when he filled out his counter-DMCA notices to fight DeCastro's DMCA takedown attempts. O'Day himself acknowledged the lawsuit over the summer on a live stream where he said he heard that he was being sued by DeCastro while lying in a hospital bed after a motorcycle accident. Since that time, however, he has avoided the subject. While an attorney for a supposed partner of O'Day came forward to represent the partner on O'Day's Irish Demon channel, O'Day himself has remained silent on the lawsuit. O'Day's partner is not officially part of the litigation. Attorney Newman was given permission to serve O'Day via email early in September, with O'Day having 3 weeks to respond to the deadline. As O'Day missed the deadline, Attorney Newman gave O'Day an extension to file his reply by September 29, 2025. That deadline passed without a reply, resulting in the filing of the default by the attorney. The court clerk is expected to file the default later on Tuesday. While the clerk can find O'Day in default, it is not the end of the process. From here, there are several steps to take the default and have the judge rule for DeCastro in a default judgment. Newman may ask for discovery before making a motion for default judgment to the magistrate judge assigned to the case. After that, DeCastro will still have to prove damages from O'Day's alleged actions. This is a breaking news story. We need your help. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, feeding the cats, defending ourselves from lawsuit threats, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, you can do so via a donation to our PayPal, Cash App, or GoFundMe accounts. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our videos from beginning to end, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.